So, Shift Drink started off with a spin-off of me and Louie were doing about business talks, which I thought was terribly boring. And I figured if I could get Matt Potter and everybody else involved and we have a couple cocktails, get the real stories. We started off with one little shot.
Cheers.
Let's do this. So Jake's not here this week. He's typically our moderator, but his partner Chris is here. And I like to kind of take charge on these ones for some unknown reason. But he had a topic for us. It was, the restaurant life cycle, restaurant bar life cycle. I've been through ups and downs numerous times. You've been ups and downs. You've been in this business for a while, but I'm not going to, kind of jump ahead of myself. I want you to give, I guess, your history, I guess, in the restaurant business, Chicho's business, and then restaurant bars on its own, because I know this is going to go sideways and turn into using Potter's meeting and how you guys met. And so it's kind of like a free, it's an open format. Let's have fun with it. So, I mean, Gamble, there's nobody better than I've known. I mean, you've worked with us at Chicho's, you've been in the bar business for yourself. So go ahead and give yourself an introduction, a little brief history, where you're from, your whole story, how we got here.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. Matt, thanks for having me. The whole Chicho's franchise, I'm honored to be a guest on the second episode. Many, many more to come, I'm assuming.
Sure.
Yeah. So I got to Virginia Beach in 2004.
Where are you from?
Late 2004, from New Jersey via the Navy. So I'm from South Jersey, which is very similar to Virginia Beach. Cape May, old Victorian town, cobblestone roads, like 1,200 people in my whole high school. I was like one of 300 people in my graduating class.
That's why he thinks he's the best in the world. He was the best in the world there.
I was the.
I can throw this football clear those mountains.
Right. Yeah, still can. Go outside right now. So I arrived via the Navy from South Jersey, Cape May, New Jersey in 2004. Came to Virginia Beach at Dam Neck Base, OSA school, which was the same job that Matt had when he was in the Navy. So I'd been here before, to go to Williamsburg on Easter break one year, but this was I moved here because I had a couple friends who had already been here, transplanted, who were in the Navy ahead of me, because I gave, college football the old try and it didn't work out. So off to the Navy. I had debt and I had to be paid. So
life came along.
Yeah, real fast. That was a hard pill.
In the face for real.
Hard pill to swallow for sure. But then I landed down here and I had an absolute blast. Double dip the whole time. You're supposed to run a chit if you're going to work outside of the Navy. I never did that once. We just kind of Yeah, we just kind of went for it. I met Matt at Chicho's.
No, you didn't. So I know you guys did not meet at Chicho's, because I know this story, and I know people would like to hear this story, because it's actually a great story.
A lot of people know that.
Let's tell this story.
A lot more than
one time for all to the public.
All right, so
maybe you both have a different version of it. I don't know.
I didn't know Matt at all, and two friends of mine also same job as us in the Navy. Me and Matt were just there at different times, totally different ships. There was a gentleman
Keith,
a guy named Keith and another guy named Matt, who someone ran into their car or backed into their vehicle on base.
No.
Right?
No, so Matt has his car parked behind mine at my house. I didn't realize he was parked behind me. This is when I lived off 24th Street. Bill Spengler, Party Reptile Bill.
Okay.
The house that me and
long story short, you backed into somebody's car.
I backed into somebody's car.
Yeah, but you were trying to be nice.
I don't think I had insurance at the time.
Full disclosure,
Navy.
You definitely didn't have insurance.
And so I basically told him, I was like, look, give me a month. It was like $1,000 in damage. I was like, give me a month to pay you back for it. And he lasted 2 weeks. He got fed up with it, I guess.
All right, back to Gamble's story. He's the guest.
Yeah,
that's where it goes. That straightens out that
That's
part.
the backstory on it. And then, so I was just a random guy, I guess from Jersey. They were like, hey, if you're willing to handle some business for us, beat up this guy for us who backed in our car.
Because that's my question. What made them come to you as you're the enforcer bully to go collect money?
So, he's from Jersey. He's from Jersey.
South Jersey.
It was
from the beach.
When we first got here in Virginia Beach, there was a lot of fights, bar fights, quick tussles. You would fight somebody, get drug out, and then you'd see them at the next bar, and then you'd buy them a drink. Mm-hmm. So I got into a lot of fights being from South Jersey and then being in the Navy and just being a drunk dummy down at the beach.
All right.
Defending him a few times.
All right, so we're not there yet. So now you're going to collect money.
Right, okay. So not money per se. They said, look, this guy's not paying us. And
in 2 weeks.
yeah, if you go beat him up, I'll take care of all your drinks tonight. I'll give you start with a case of Milwaukee's Best, and we'll get you like a handle of rum or something. I said, all I gotta do is just go here and what? Like just knock him out? And he said, yeah, just knock him out. I said, okay. So we get to this house. It's on 14th and Mediterranean. We park at 24th. Yeah. Yep. Park at an elementary school. Walk across the street, and they run into two girls at the bottom of the stairs. And I got my beer. It's getting cold, so I run it upstairs. I go into the kitchen.
So my neighbors downstairs had a condo too.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to. I understand.
Yeah. So second story, they would party at the same time. It'd be like two parties at once. It was absolute mayhem. And is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so
we're good now. We're good.
Go upstairs, and I see Matt, and he's just like, "Hey, man, welcome. What's your name?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm Gamble, and it's nice to meet you. Hey, let me help you put your beer away." So he helps me put my beer away, and then he's like, "Do you play beer pong?" I was like, "Who doesn't?" Right? It's 2000 something. So we start playing beer pong. Not only do we start playing, but we start like doing very well. Like we're like running the table. So I'd say at least 3 games go by, and I get a tap on my shoulder, and it's like my buddy's like around the corner because we were like in the small little kitchenette or whatever. And he's in the living room. He's like tapping me on the shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, I just remember white linoleum floor in that place."
That place was a shithole.
And he's just tapping me on my shoulder. He's like, "Yo, I'm like, what's up?" He's like, "Man, that's the guy." I'm like, "What do you mean that's the guy?" He's like, "That's the guy you're supposed to knock out." And I was like, "Oh, well, I can't now."
All right, so I was gonna say, how did that conversation
chest
go?
bumping?
So how'd that happen? Like, so you've been on a run. You guys are drunken best friends at this point.
Yeah.
And you realize that's why you're there. What was that conversation? Or
So
did that even take
it never took place.
Never took place?
No, because I caught on real quick to who Matt was at the beach.
You were like,
so
nah, he's the guy to know.
he's the guy to know. Like everybody, when they walked in the house, said hi to him. Every girl hugged him. Not just hugged him, like they like hung on him. No. Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. I didn't say you were hung. I said they hung on you. But
oh my God.
So it was.
Cut that out.
He definitely was the guy to see down here at the beach. Right. And then he's like, "Hey, I work at Crazy Charlie's, and and I'm affiliated with the Chicho's group. Come on down to the block. Let's have a good time." I think it was like his selling pitch was the prime rib and shrimp. That would get everyone down there. It really was a hit.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
That's kind of how it got started, right? And then he introduced me to his people, and then that's how I guess I gained my notoriety. It was just getting in with the right people. Gotcha. And I got the perfect job at the perfect time. Someone got fired right in front of me. You guys had me at the door at the block, Chicho's. I was working the door. Someone got fired. Matt walked outside, lit a cigarette, looks over at me, goes, "You want to bartend?" And I was
so that's what I was going to get into, because my first memory, because I want to keep going on your story and your history, but I want to kind of...
I first met you in Chesapeake.
I was going to say, I want to try to do it chronologically, and I'm trying to remember my first experience meeting you, and it must be when I knew... I don't remember the Chesapeake one, but I knew you were working at 29th Street with him, and I think that might have been my... No, maybe at that block, maybe, possibly. But tell me, I want Potter to tell me how the story... got him to 29th Street, because we still have that location. That's where you're at now. Your main partner.
That's
there.
home base, man. That's Cheers. So that'll always be home base. That's where you guys actually like established yourselves as those two guys there.
Asian Gary.
Yeah.
So that's where you guys established.
Shake and bake.
You guys established yourselves as that duo. So Potter, give me that side how he got.
So we were working at Charlie's together for a while, and then I think at that point, this was 2008 when I talked about it previously. I went back to Chicho's as general manager when Louis owned it, still like solo, or I think it might have been him and Andy at the time. But so I think I brought Gamble with me, and we kind of took that place over. It was like the true Chicho's management style, like.
You guys took the block off the block, basically, right?
Yeah,
nobody's ever said that?
We made 29th Street from
but outside of you guys doing that, Lindsay at venue, I don't know how many people have taken the block off the block.
He took it the furthest.
Yeah.
He took it the furthest. John did,
that's the first time I ever
Billy and John, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that's a great
we took White Wall Chicho's. It was like white walls in there, like big square TVs. And we started doing bands, started doing DJs,
Beer pong
nights,
keg night,
all that. But it was like back then was like the epitome of like how the Chicho's brand of a manager works whatever, however you want to call it.
You worked in the kitchen.
You'd be in the kitchen
all
like 5 to
day.
9.
And you went behind the bar.
You'd have flour all over you.
Yeah, you go jump in the ocean or a pool, come back and work the
change
night
shirts,
shift.
and then go right behind the bar and make like $500. Like,
Yeah.
in a tiny. I mean,
That's
that
the
place.
reason why we did it.
Yeah, I mean
Right.
that place is probably what 2,500 square feet in that dining room. But actually, that dining room itself dining room and bar is only like 1,000 square feet max.
But what's weird to me is I thought about this last night. I don't want to interrupt you, but I don't know why. I woke up last night
Thinking
It's
about me.
weird. Not thinking about you. Thinking about that old lifestyle. About being behind that bar. You had to bartend. You had to play the music. You had to bar back for yourself. You had to watch the floor. You were watching the door. All that stuff from behind the bar. And I don't want to knock anybody this day and age out in the bartending world, but like, I don't know if it could happen anymore. I thought about that. Like, what if we rebuilt one of those places again, where you did everything from that central location?
You wouldn't be able to get employees. You
But
wouldn't be able to get employees.
I'm not trying to like toot our own horns, but people aren't built in that dynamic anymore. But
We were playing CDs.
yeah. Oh, you talking about Charlie's? Like in well, yeah.
Back and
Back-
forth.
No, yeah, Charlie's. It would be like me and Butch, and we'd be like, all right, you have this side of the CD deck, I have this side of the CD deck. We have CD books.
And
We're in the middle of like 3 deep at the bar, and we're like, you better hurry up and change that song on your CD and like
This
go
was
through.
also after we just got done working kitchen shift 5 to 9, getting it pushed in
Crushed.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to this. You and him getting
So yeah,
together.
so me
there.
and him kind of just took over 29th Street and really just made the nightlife there like a thing.
Yeah, it became a thing. You're right.
And that was we had Jack Move playing there a lot, and
No Dreads.
No Dreads, DJ Be Easy,
Nature's Child.
Nature's Child was there a lot.
DJ Hutch.
Hutch was there. Yeah, Hutch started
Back
it.
around right now still.
Hutch was there. Charlie,
back,
he started
yeah.
Charlie's. We did like
That
the
guy's awesome,
Monday
man.
nights. Hutch is a great
He's
guy.
so reliable.
Yeah.
He's so
Love you,
reliable.
Hutch.
So Chris, take that
Yeah.
note. I guess this DJ Hutch needs to come back, get a podcast with us.
Anybody we
Yeah.
just mentioned right there needs to come on this podcast.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, so me and Gamble kind of just took everything.
And basically, you took your friends that you knew you could rely on and said, "We got to go work this business."
Yeah, but what was weird was neither of us are from here though.
But it wasn't like it wasn't.
It was.
work,
I think the
it was
reaction
fun.
we were
It
getting
was
from the
fun.
locals
Yeah.
was.
Like we threw up. It was like we were professional party planners at that point in time,
Yeah. Facts.
and it was literally the funnest
All right.
thing in the world.
And that's a good segue because I'm going to keep going. I would like to keep thinking about that. We were professional party planners because it's going to, I guess, come into my questions down the road a little bit.
I don't want to do it anymore. It's exhausting.
No, but because we're gonna keep going down this line of Gamble's history because you were professional party planners back then, and then Gamble. I mean, yes, there's a lot in between there, but you ended up leaving, got a chance to go have your own place. Mm-hmm. So get me to that point. You know, tell me how you got there and how that was.
Yeah, me and Matt had a crazy run at 2-9, and at that point, I
Slingshot.
Quiet,
you
Matt.
know.
Yeah.
Be quiet, Matt Potter.
he
This is Gamble's story.
slingshotted me and let me take first place for once, and so actually it was Jeff Venner's fault. What he did was he bought into the Chicho's franchise and he divided us.
Yeah.
And he separated us. He put me at would be Strawbridge over here.
Yeah. Yep.
A long time ago when it was just like a tiny little spot. And that's kind of like how we got separated. And then from then, it didn't work out for either of us, so we had to find new homes. And Billy Baldwin offered me a home at the Block, which was our old Crazy Charlie's, which is now
Ironic,
Chemistry.
right? Ironic.
Right, same building, so it was home for me. One in there, I worked under Garth Cooper and Damon.
That would be
And
another good one.
yeah, Garth would be an
Damon would be a good
amazing one.
one.
Yeah,
Add to
love
the
those
list.
guys. I'm still in touch with all those guys as often as I can be. Damon's my most favorite movie date, other than you, Matt. Don't get upset.
Potter's trying to order.
Yeah, dose. So we were there 2-9. We left. We got separated, and I ended up back at the Block again. And then through that, basically was like sweat equity. Well, I was there for a while, and I wanted to be an owner.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I wanted to be an owner.
We all thought we did.
We all thought we did, right? So I wanted to be an owner before I was 30. That was like my goal. And at the time, they didn't agree that it was the right
Can I
time.
interrupt you to show how dumb I fucking was too back in my 20s? I had a shirt that I used to wear back in the day that said "Future Billionaire," and I said before I'm 30.
Oh wow! I was honestly, I'm going to give you credit. I'm like,
It was a great
You're going to be
goal.
making I know you're going to do well, and you're going to continue
But
to
I said
do well.
before I was 30,
Yeah, you missed the mark.
and that
though.
shirt can't fit my son.
Right. So I was,
You're probably my size back then.
yeah. I don't think so.
No, nobody was that smart.
No,
Well,
the twins are bigger than you now. Right? Yeah.
Probably.
Your own daughter's bigger than you.
all right, back to the
So,
fucking story.
all right, so at the time they didn't think that I was ready, so I went out into like the freelance world, which I followed PJ Reed's blueprint, and what I did is I found out that I could work 4 or 5 nights a week, or as many nights a week I want at the
Yeah,
premier
you did do that. I
places
forgot about that.
for like 3
you
years.
did. You were just
Which
a
is-
freaking.
Oh,
what do you
it
call
was
it?
a bar slut.
Like a
It was
scab.
so
Like you
bad. It
was
was-
just out everywhere.
Yeah, and it was
a little
notoriously no
bald
one was
pirate.
allowed to do that.
Making more money than all of
No
us.
one.
I'm
Oh,
not
it
gonna
was so
lie
bad.
though, too. I'm not gonna lie though, because the places put you on their prime nights too, and you're like, all right, where's gambling night? I guess we go there.
Right.
You're not gonna lie.
Yeah, and then so ultimately what that did though, I found out was, and you can ask like, remember some of our best regulars like Brandon and Alicia.
Yep.
Met them at Chicho's. Where else do you work? I work at Side Street. I work at Central. I work at Venue. I work at Eagles Nest. I work at Chicho's 29th Street. They were bouncing around from location to location, seeing new things.
Yeah.
So eating new foods, like they'd never,
Yeah.
oh wow, Side Street Cantina. I'm sure they still go there
take
now
on
to
a
this
new
day.
place.
Right. So,
Taking on a
but
new
that
place
was
in your hometown is
but
what
I-
the crazy thing is.
Right. I understand that concept where you don't want your prime guys to go work other places because, you're essentially we're entertainers back there. We're not just bartenders. Like you guys said, you do everything. I remember first time watching John Blaze.
You're entertainers. No matter what anybody
Yeah.
tells you to this day, you are the entertainment back there.
Yep.
Anybody can show the same stuff on TV. You can play the same music. You might have the same group of clientele, kind of. It's the person behind the bar. You're
That's it.
entertainment. You
Yep.
are entertainment. You're
Yeah.
selling
I was thinking
yourself.
Joe Pesci,
That
like,
is
am I
it
a
sounds,
fucking
you're selling
clown to you?
yourself.
Yeah, and we are. I remember. So to rewind real quick, Potter gave me my first weekend shift. It had to have been like June, July 2000, maybe 6 or 7. And do you remember? You put me in the pit for the first time. There was like
Oh, God.
no training, I got trained, I guess, but no.
There.
It's my first time just thrown in the pit, which is
Go
in
Back at the bar.
you're the deepest well, and you
Right by the dance floor.
there's
Where
no
the
stopping.
locals, where the locals go.
No stopping. And I'm getting like bombarded and I'm getting weeded and I'm sweating and I'm just getting my ass kicked. And this guy starts poking me in the forehead. And I'm like, all right, I just knee-jerk reaction, just grab him. I rip him over the bar and I'm just smushing his face in the ice, right? Like, how dare you touch me? And then you look down and Matt, he's making a drink and he sees me and he just runs down. He's like, no.
Lord.
He, honest to God,
Here's a raise.
no, you gave me this customers always right spiel at the end of the night. And I was like, I guess you had to do that.
He was
I
in.
don't ever picture myself saying that now, ever.
Yeah, no, it was so funny. Yeah, and that was my first Friday night down there, so it can be very stressful as a bartender. So as far as entertaining, there's times where you're still human and people will poke the bear. Like I said, I wanted to ask Ed in the middle of my story, how did you get involved with Chicho's?
That guy,
I don't even
the guy
know.
you just met earlier.
Dave Jones.
That guy that came in here,
Yeah.
back there playing poker. I told this story before on a different podcast. I was at ODU, going to Crazy Charlie's out there. I was underage. Door flew open one night. Some guy got flying out the door, landed in the rocks, and the bouncer came out, kicked him in the stomach, and I said, I think I could do this. Ended up working there. That guy was at my wedding. It's one of my best friends ever.
Like a scene from
Like
Roadhouse.
Louis and I worked together forever
Yeah.
after that. So
That's awesome.
that's a quick and short story.
Right.
But to keep us on track here with our topic, so you did all this stuff. You eventually started owning your own bar down there.
Yes,
You owned that bar, Chemistry, down there.
Yeah.
So give a quick snippet in that because I got some questions for you.
Yeah.
To get us some value besides just great fucking us sitting back having some drinks and storytelling and shit, which actually is pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
But
So
go ahead.
I eventually, after like a little sabbatical in the free world, saved up some money, invested, came back to the block, invested in a property, I bought into Chemistry, and then for about 10 years I was owner and operator with either Billy Baldwin or Shaggy and then got out after
So
pandemic.
stop right there. So stop right there, because that's where I want to go. Because I did this with Potter. I mean, him and I have that best friend, love-hate business relationship where we've been through this up and down cycle of this business where we've been on top of the fucking world and some, then we've been down here. And I know you had to deal with that too. So I don't know if you have anything prepared or any thoughts, but talk about that restaurant bar life, that life cycle, I guess, when you're sitting high and you feel like you can do no wrong, and then 60 days later you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's called September.
If you have any personal stories, if you don't want to share any personal stories, that's cool.
No,
I think everybody. Sometimes people look from the outside in. They're like, they see you busy. They're like, man, you guys are killing it. Or they see you slow. You guys must be sucking. It's just shit.
I think the most hilarious part is everyone thinks we're like rich.
As soon as you open a business,
know what I mean?
Hey, you want to donate? Bitch,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've had people to my face tell me like, well, "You don't need it." I'm like, "Bro, do you know how many kids I got?"
That's actually got me.
Yeah. So, yeah, right. That is the reason.
Little football team.
Yeah.
No
so
girls.
It was the highs are high as you can be, right? You're on cloud 9. You can. It's like everything you touch is gold. Every shift is booming. Every month sales are up and up and up, and you're generating more and more money. And every year, I remember consistent years. I mean, we were probably up 20% in growth each year until pandemic hit. Or we had a couple. We hit a wall.
Yeah.
And when we hit that first wall, I never felt anything like that. Like.
It's a gut check. Man.
It's a gut check to where you're down to 10 people in a bar when I only allowed 82 anyway. I got to survive on 82, and then I'm down to 10 now, and they all got to be 10 feet apart. And how do you operate that? You can't. I mean, we were down to selling my wife's. We were catering to go food just to keep the lights on, and that was a rude awakening for us. And that's when I knew it was time to start to pivot.
Figure it out.
Yeah, but. The lows of lows, like it'll put strain on your marriage. It'll put strain on your mental health.
Especially as us, I think we're kind of the same mindset as men. Like, I've shared before on mine, I've been through a divorce, and it's because I kind of tried to hide the ups and downs. The downs definitely hit, and I can only imagine sticking with somebody through that when you're trying to hide that down, but you don't know where you're paying your own bills month to month, let alone those business bills. Yeah. Those are brutal.
Me and my wife, we still joke. She's my absolute person. We joke because there'd be nights where we'd go out as a couple, and we'd be out drinking. Like for instance, no lie, I remember distinctly Central 111. My wife loved the cool tuna and hookah, and this is Billy Hudson was doing hookah before anybody else. Yeah. Before anybody else. For sure. And
because you guys adapted that.
Yeah, I brought it to the beach.
You're like, let me take that back to the bar.
Yeah, I brought that. That was my thing, though. I took the best. I mean, I don't know. I still do that in life, in every aspect of life.
Everybody should steal from everybody.
Yeah, I take a little bit from everyone. Yeah, absolutely. And that's all I did.
Just give them the credit and steal the shit out of them.
Right. And as far as being innovative as a promoter and a professional party planner, I always was just online looking at the West Coast or whatever was going on in Europe and just try to be ahead of the curve. Sometimes I'd be so ahead of I was trying to do pop-up and pool parties remember that way before, and they were just like misses and no one was going to pool parties.
Just the wrong time.
Yeah.
You were doing it
was just the wrong time.
It was just wrong time. So like I said, the highs are high. You're hanging out with your best friends. You're literally doing, it's not even a job when it's at its peak. Right. It's not a job. You're coming to work. You're just smiling every day. You're hanging out with your best friends, and it becomes a little bit delusional where you think they really are your best friends, right? Like, man, I see these people 3-4 nights a week. They must be my best friends. And you kind of lose focus on some other things. Yeah,
sit together.
Right, and then so that's why it's even more detrimental when you hit the lows because everyone else is gone, or not only are they gone, they're still there, but now they're still asking from you.
So that's a good pivot point for me because Potter and I, like I said, we've gone through those, and then I don't know if many people know because this was short lived, and might be a very weird or touchy situation. You came into this place for a while at some point, and I want to ask your opinion on this because we were talking a lot. All we talked about so far is bar life, right?
Yeah.
When you came in here, this wasn't just bar life. This was restaurant life, and I think we brought you in here for that purpose because Potter was we just pulled Potter out of here, right?
Yep. Potter had to go back to
a few
2.9.
years
Yeah.
before, maybe.
It was a year before.
You went back. You
I
went
know
back
that.
down to
Yeah, but I'm
2.9.
saying it might have been like
But
a
so
year
like
to-
because Potter, when Potter was in here, he was running like a bar, not a restaurant. But we wanted this to be a restaurant, and so you came in, and I think that was where like I think we missed each other in passing because I think you were still coming from that bar life, and we brought you in here, and we had a vision of a restaurant, and so it's a.
I think you
I
brought
just
him
want
in.
to
it's
get
good.
your thoughts on that time period because that was a weird thing because it was difficult because I know you on a personal level, I knew you knew him on a personal level, and it just didn't work from either party.
Right.
So
So my take on that was we were at the time. It just I don't think this
we were
area
an
was
identity
developed
problem.
yet.
I'll admit that on our side, we were in an identity issue.
Oh,
we didn't
yeah.
know what the fuck we were.
Yeah, and I think
I think you brought him in to compliment the at restaurant things. I think that's when the restaurant part of it started picking up. I think you guys brought him in to bring that bar atmosphere in.
We
because-
also needed both sides, so
You did.
We
Yeah,
gave response.
but what I think the best part of that was Rob.
Yeah.
Rob sticking through all that because me and Rob came in the same time.
Great little
that
toot
was
to
like,
Rob right there because he's still here and obviously thriving.
dude,
So
Rob is the man. And
Fuck you,
I-
Rob.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that guy
I knew that was
because
coming.
he went from door guy,
Top flight,
legit
top flight security.
door guy to owner, and he did it with not the smoothest trail either. I mean, that guy's got
that was
some.
the roughest trail
Yeah,
to
he
get to
got
an
I mean,
hour.
how many broken
Even
bones?
Chris knows the guy.
So like I was there the night that he hit the mixer. That was classic.
When what's his name twisted his arm up behind him, snapped
Oh
that.
man, yeah. Oh,
Who's that,
man.
Brandon?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh
Brendan.
no, that was Clay.
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 Jesus Christ. Should we be talking about this
No,
stuff?
it's already been on there, so it's alright. Statute of
yeah,
limitations is over.
I'll tell you,
Stop being a little bitch, Rob.
We I said to the door guy at Chicho 2.9 about a month ago. I was in there. He goes, "Have you been here before?" I said, "Yeah, man. I think I've slept here more shifts than you were."
That's not what you said. I know what you said, but we can't. I'm not going to repeat that one right here. You said
Yeah.
I might have been in that walk-in.
Yeah. 2.9 is that's Cheers to me. That was home base. And I think that the only bar that is mimic that is Rob. I think has done a good job here at Strawbridge creating a local bar. Because this, like you said in the beginning, it didn't have an identity, right?
Yeah.
And I came in, I tried to help out, and at the same time, I'm splitting time between. I'm the majority owner at Chemistry,
Yeah.
while also trying to be over here.
just doesn't
and then the inmates are running the asylum down at the block, and
And
numbers
that's when,
are
that's when
dropping.
you were close to that transition period, too,
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
realize, like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, and honestly, I was going through it too in my own relationship at home.
Yeah.
So it was a tough time. So it was just too much. I bit off way too much that I could chew.
And we
you know
all
what
think
I
we
mean?
can do that. I get it.
Yeah.
It's-
No, I remember.
Happened to me.
Yeah, but you were so professional about it. He's like, "Hey man, let's meet for a drink," and I was like, "Okay." So we just met down at the
But we
block.
both knew. We were like,
Yeah,
it ain't
we
fucking
both
working.
knew.
It ain't
Because
fucking
Rob
working.
called me. He was like,
I was
"Yeah."
gonna watch this.
No, but
Yeah.
I feel like I've always been, I don't like doing those things, but I'm pretty good with it, especially with friends, with people I have professional
Yeah.
friendships with. It's like, you know what, let's just fucking talk honest.
Yeah.
We both would rather not have to beat around the bush and like not be comfortable around each other. Let's just say the shit.
Yeah, and I think that we all know that. Like I've always been Team Chichos. through
And then,
through, so.
that's why you're sitting here because
Yeah.
we only really do these things with guys that we know are team us, even though, maybe.
Let's bring some haters in one day.
Yeah, we will. Actually, that's
Yeah,
going to
love
be
to
a
be
great
here.
episode. It won't be called the shift drink. It's going to be called "Let Me Have It" or some shit like that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
tell me what the fuck I'm doing
We
wrong.
need a security guard behind us.
There might be a long list of people waiting to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'll sit here and just have them come up and you get a one-line statement or something. But
All right.
you ready? Are you ready? Put down your beer. So you've moved on from all your life. Mm-hmm. Now you got this. Go ahead and give your one kick. So all this history we've heard from you. Mm-hmm. We're still going to go back to the up and down life cycle of restaurant. But where are you at right now?
So after pandemic, it was kind of like didn't know where we were gonna go. Decided to step away from the block. My goal was to leave.
Time out. This might be sold for this next product placement next time somebody else is trying to do it. He gets this one for free. So you're lucky
appreciate
you're not
that.
as cool as him right now.
I
So.
appreciate that.
This podcast sponsored by Lone Drink.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure I'll pay it back during a golf tournament or two. So, pandemic happened and took money out of the block, walked away, invested in my wife into real estate, which was
She's dominating.
Dominating. She's killing it. Shout out to Kathleen Gamble, real estate.
Way to get lucky.
Yeah, I did. I really did. Right. And then I have this childhood connection with Miles Teller. And so I took the kids to go see, it was June 21st, 2021. I took the kids to go see Top Gun Maverick. I was texting him, sending him videos of the kids running around in the backyard. Him and my brothers all grew up together. He responds, it's crazy how everything's full circle. Hey, while I have you, I just bought a liquor product, and I'd help you. It'd be great if you could help me hit the ground running in Virginia when we launch. Cool, send me some product, we'll see where we're going from there. I immediately jump on Google, I do my research, find out it's the Finnish long drink from Finland. So essentially, the founders were exchange students over here in New York City trying to pitch their product, sitting at a bodega at a little table, offering samples to people. Miles Teller was shooting a Paramount show in New York, walked in the bodega, saw it, tasted it, fell in love with it, said, I'd love to have this at my home. Can you mail me some?
Yeah, that's cool.
Keeps chugging it. Can I have it at my wedding? Everyone at the wedding's drinking it, including Ricky Fowler, Justin Thomas, DJ Kygo. And then next thing you know, they all like, hey, let's invest, let's buy this stuff. And voila. So he asked me to help them here in Virginia. And started like part-time because honestly at the time I was still like thinking about doing like restaurant consulting. I was like pivoting.
Yeah.
And then this ended up, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I'm absolutely in love with the product. I love the brand. They treat you like a family. It's very small. There's still less than 100 people in the company. And it's absolutely taking off. We were the number one spirit in the world in 23 and 24. This year we're not, but we're like the fourth or fifth largest RTD in the world. Yeah.
So Miles Teller, you'll be on our next one.
Yeah.
Well, no, so I mean that takes me. I did that on purpose to loop it back to this, the restaurant life cycle, because it's wild what this business does. Some people come in it and they get out of it. And like I tell most people, get out of it as quick as you can. Some people you can tell they're meant to be in it. Some people just leads to other opportunities, and like as long as you become somewhat of a stable, trustworthy, worthwhile person, you work hard, it leads to different places, no matter how bumpy the road gets. And like, if this is going to take off for you, that's freaking awesome. And that's kind of wraps up that whole little story, because I know you've been up and down the roller coaster, just like we're still sitting up and down the roller coaster, but this thing seems like, it's taken off. You guys are with a minor distributor. I'm not going to start saying names.
No, they're with Chesbait now.
And
I'll shut up.
God, this guy just...
I think I might have to
does he?
cut some stuff.
They were a minor distributor before, now they're a major distributor where it's simple to get now. And like for me as a guy that handles that side of the business, that was one of your biggest steps for that brand.
Absolutely.
Because it's simple now.
Yeah.
And before I was like, fuck this. I
Yeah.
was like, don't make my life harder than it already is.
Yeah, that was my largest obstacle, and it was hard to translate that to the founders at the top, because they don't really see those inconveniences.
And that's really was bothering me for a while, because he
Right.
was pushing it, Rob was pushing it, they're your boys. They were pushing it.
Yeah.
And you should appreciate them for that.
Yeah,
But
he
for
would tell me,
me,
he's like, dude, I just got yelled at because I had to bring in 10 cases.
Because buying the quantities, it was
So
like,
sorry.
that's not what I don't like putting my money on the shelf.
I know.
And that distributor helped out. So, that's really...
It's, what's funny? Did I tell you this? I'm with my new distributor, Chesbait, now, and they're doing a fantastic job. And I'm in a room full of the reps, and they're all like, Gamble, you're Chicho's affiliated. I was like, yeah. They're like, hey, can we ask you something? I was like, do you have any like hints or secrets to get through to Ed?
No.
I'm like, what's the matter with Ed?
No. I already know who's asking it. And like, look. You got me. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Yeah.
All right, you got me. I'm on your side on that stuff. We can do business on that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I'm gonna end that topic right there.
Okay.
Because we're cut close. We try to keep these to an hour.
Okay.
All right, we're about 15 minutes out. But we always have this segment, and this is all strictly on Jake. I had to just look it up right there because this is not my thing. This is gonna probably mess with a guy like yours, Ed. I know it's already screwing Potter up to me right now. We always end on these three things, and I can repeat them as we go through them, but I'm going to start with you, Gamble, because it's going to take Potter a lot of time to process this. just because it's mental capacity over there. So you got to end on one moment of goodness for this week, and I'll repeat them as we go. Then one thing you're looking forward to. It could be anything. This doesn't have to be business. It could be personal, whatever in life. And then one aim or dream you're working towards and hoping for. So you got something that's good this week. I mean, this week's short. It could be coming up this week.
Right.
One thing you're looking forward to in the future, and then a goal that you are striving. That's probably going to be reachable in a year or two.
Absolutely.
So out the gate, Potter, one moment of goodness from this week. Gamble, one moment of goodness for this week. And I got to think it myself. Chris, I'm going to make you do it at the end. I'm going to repeat them all. You go first, because unless you got one.
I can knock out all three right now.
Give me the one of this week. Goodness of this week.
So all three of mine are going to match. So I'm going to pivot to this.
That's
Something
okay.
else that I've been allowed to do since I left the restaurant industry is start my own production company. So I've been doing like documentaries and commercials and music videos.
Good way to sell that here, right? Too.
Right. So,
$1.
Something I have going on a win this week is I'll be setting up a meeting with Keyshawn Davis and the Davis brothers to interview them for the Sweet Pea Whitaker documentary.
Go Birds still though.
Yes. So that's my short win.
One for the week. Otter,
One for the week. For the week, as you know. Not really that bad. It's only
I can already
Tuesday.
think of yours. I know yours.
Why one good thing for the week?
Yeah.
I gotta have dinner with my daughter
That was
before this.
it, dude.
Because
look,
she's going out of town for
so you
spring
know
break,
what?
and
Hang on. You know what? That's my good thing for the week right now, because his daughters and my daughter are the same age and they're friends. And they're to an age where we don't see them as much.
Yeah.
And I was able to share, and that's my good thing for the week, because I was able to share to him. He was like, look, I feel like I'm missing out. I was like, dude, just start scheduling dinners with her. I was like, because she's going to want to go do what she wants to do with her friends. She's not going to want to stay over at the house. She's going to be back over here doing this stuff. Just schedule a dinner. And the fact that I know you've done it the past 2 weeks, that's my good thing for the week, because I'm happy that you guys are doing it.
No, I mean, it's like that.
That's so cool.
I
It
remember
is. It doesn't have to be business. I mean, this is, you get real lives
I
here.
remember when I was
Dude.
17, how much did I really hang out with my
That's
family?
what I said to you. I was like, think
Like-
about what you were doing at 17. She doesn't want to do this stuff.
I'm trying
Schedule
after
a
we had
dinner.
that
She's got to
conversation.
eat.
After that conversation we had, I was like, you know what? You're absolutely.
And you've been
you're
doing
absolutely right.
awesome with it. You've
No,
been
I
reaching
love
out
it. I
there.
mean-
that's the reason why we're delayed today, because that dinner.
It's beautiful.
Sorry,
though. I'll
Savannah,
call
we
him,
just share.
you know, and I'm like, hey man, what are you doing? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You know, I know you got a night. This is the ideal night. Sorry, I'm with Savannah.
Yeah.
Sorry, with Savannah. I got a lot. I don't have a lot. I got some buddies who probably don't even know their kids exist, right? And that's and then that makes me not want to call them buddies. But you know, sometimes we move in
Life
certain
is life.
circles, right? So, but yeah, no, you guys are fantastic fathers, and I adore that about Matt, and I adore that about you, Ed.
I mean,
'cause I know
dude, you
you're
have
always with your boys.
5 kids.
Yeah.
You're doing a
Yeah.
great job.
Chris,
Yeah.
good thing for the week.
So I don't know if you guys saw it today, but I posted the 10th anniversary Strawbridge video.
I haven't watched it yet.
So, behind the scenes guy, Chris over here, he started taking a lot of action, doing the short vids and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
The short
yeah.
clips from all of our long content. So he's taking it upon himself to create the reels, all the short stuff, and start getting them out there. So,
And I've been editing the podcast.
and you've been doing a lot of podcast stuff
Yeah,
now
the
too.
recent videos, the BMX ones, but I think you mentioned, John, that you were a fan of the videos.
Oh, yeah,
And that
absolutely.
meant a lot to me.
Absolutely, man. Keep
Yeah,
going. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think last month we made like a total of over 50 videos, so it's good to see like in person. that people
Absolutely,
are
man.
starting to
That's
see it.
awesome. Keep going.
appreciate
Yeah, we'll
it.
work together eventually.
Yeah,
Gamble.
I'm
One
down.
thing you're looking forward to short term, I guess. Short term to me would be 12 months. What are you looking forward to in 12 months?
Short term is within 12 months, we'll be flying out to LA and Vegas to interview Zab Judah and Mike Tyson, Rampage Jackson.
It's gonna make key on my short term.
It's going to be a nice 5-day trip. We got trying to do either May or June. We're working out the dates right now.
We'll go fuck ourselves.
Well, that's awesome. Potter, short term?
Short term within the next 12 months.
It could be shorter than that. I'm saying it has to be. Don't go beyond 12.
Short term, it could probably lead in my bad part. I was gonna,
Vasectomy?
You know what?
Nah.
So let me take it then, because that's my short term for you too. And it's my short term the same. We're talking about a restaurant life cycle, and I'm not afraid, Matt Potter. I'm gonna call you out right here.
go for it.
This fool right here has been at the top of the world in this business, and then felt like he arrived and let it go and was at the bottom of the world in this business this past year. And I've seen something out of him the past, maybe 4 or 5 months that I haven't seen in a few years. I think he's heavily focused, and I'm looking forward to the summer with you back fully focused. not for myself financially, but for you as a person, because I think you took it as most, and I don't think you're an athlete like I consider myself, but I think you take it as an athlete as physically offensive when you're not a winner.
I don't like
Not mentally, physically offensive. It hurts you.
It hurts me so badly. Because as a kid growing up, I was playing sports, this and that. You know, my brother's an athlete. Yeah, I've always surrounded myself with positive people and athlete type
Except
people.
for my negative reinforcement.
Oh, dude, it gets me.
That's the sports.
It was just, it was like the other night when you said something to me when we were talking about the food tech, like how we're doing this food tech mapping thing. With
it's only taking you 45 days
and he
to
was
get
like,
done.
he said some smart ass comment, and I was just like, you know what? I went home and I was like, I'm gonna fucking get this shit done right now, and I fucking emailed them, him and
That's the
him
point.
and the other people.
It is, but you can only do it to certain people.
And the next day, I was just like, you know, I finished that on purpose because I didn't like your comment.
I was well aware what I was
And
doing.
he went, oh,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
it
I'm
worked.
like this motherfucker knows how to. Oh, he's up here like a little puppet.
But I can only do it to certain people.
No,
and so it's funny
and I
that I'm
take it
saying
on-
the funny thing is you're giving me my answers every time you answer. So that's my 12-month.
I take it, but I
I'm
love
waiting,
it.
waiting to see what you do. I've used you as an example today. I know you were in our Tuesday meeting today. I've used you as an example today with the other locations that were there. But like, look, who's the only guy that marketing talks about they have events coming up? Because this guy's putting events together once a month.
Minimum.
To get back on top, and everybody else is just kind of sitting there.
Dude,
I'm like, he's gonna kill y'all.
Wait until July at 29th Street.
All right, so Chris, what are you looking forward to? Meeting John and working with him now, or what?
I guess, do you know about Jake's van, his project?
I do know about Jake's fan.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested in that.
So
How that's gonna work out.
I'm just thought in my head that only certain people will get, but
I'm actually the one that's going to help build the interior.
You're gonna do that?
Yeah. So I have a little
Do you
bit
have that kind of
experience.
construction experience?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you do? Okay, cool.
So back when COVID hit, like a year after 2020, I took a semester off of school, and my mom bought a new home. And it's funny because we bought like a fixer-upper, right? And this used to be an old rental. The walls looked like McDonald's. It was like a neon red and like a neon yellow. I was wondering, like, what were they thinking? But I replaced
That's
the
the
floors.
70s for you.
I did all the electrical, appliances, stuff like that. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Nice.
So hopefully that'll be finished in the next 2 months.
If I ever had a house like that, I'd put like little red noses like in the walls and shit.
You would.
You'll be able to find.
All right. So then the last one is something you're working towards and hoping for. This could be something that's not even on your playbook yet. You're just hoping. It could be something that's a out there goal, dream. It's a dream. Mm-hmm. You gotta get through all these small goals that you know you're already working on. What's this dream and goal? And this could, you guys could all get salty feeling because the three of us have kids. This is where normally mine gets to that point, because whenever somebody tells me what's your dream or what are you hoping for, that's the first place my head goes. So I'll go first because I'm just hoping my kids turn out to be better than I was and do better than I can do. Like, I feel my parents did the best they could with whatever they had disposable to them, and they did miracles. And I just want my kids to sit back one day and realize that, okay, that person, or me and their mother, they all did everything they can for us, and I'm going to be better than them. That's my hope for this year, because my daughter's about to be out of the house in 1 year. And my son, I looked at him the other day, and he's like, stared at me, and he's like, I'll be taller than you by the end of summer. I'm like, probably fucking right. Wow. So they're adults almost at this point. I want them to be better than I could ever be. That's it.
Yeah, the mass prep is done.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's going to pay now. I mean,
kind of like a set and forget it at this point.
But that's where mine went, because trying to give you guys a little insight on what to think about on it, and that's where mine always goes. So, you're up, sir.
Yeah.
Without trying to dry my tear about it, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, aligned with yours. So the twins are 15 this year. We just got them a car for their birthday. So we're debating on whether to
How to manage
give
that.
it to them for their birthday this week or hold off till Christmas. You know, because they won't be able to drive for
not
another
till next
I
year.
hope they don't see this podcast before they get it.
Yeah. So right. Well, I guess they're getting it for their birthday. So I guess to me it's just the health and wealth, the safety of my children. Every day you see these kids.
The
getting
news is
picked
going,
on, and
man.
you know,
News
I
is
saw
tough.
an article today where a kid was a gun pulled on him for his headset, and then the kid like,
That was
you know,
a-
it's a whole,
Granby, right?
yeah, in Granby.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I got a nephew that lives out there, so it's I guess I just want everybody to stick around,
Yeah, good.
you know.
Matthew, you can't not say anything about but your daughter at this point since we just left you with that dump.
Yeah. I mean, so we're looking at what, just future long term.
Anything. You don't have to be like
so,
basic like us and just take the easy route.
Yeah, so-
I feel like I take the easy route with that, but that's the first thing that pops in my head.
Way to put me in a freaking corner with that.
We know you
Yeah.
love Savannah. You want the best
Yeah,
for
I know.
her.
I want
so
the best
you
for
can go
her.
out somewhere
Yeah, but that's
else.
fine. Like, because I've kind of given her a path to kind of take, and hopefully she kind of runs with it. Because I think she'll do well with it. But like, she's in cosmetology at Great Bridge or Chesapeake school system, and I would love for her to open up her own salon and be her own business owner. But that's more. It's still like.
So we can do a podcast with her down the road about her business
Yeah.
life cycle.
But I
When
want
you're-
her
when
to,
you're barely
I
able to
want
sit
her to
here.
eventually do that, But I want to kind of wait until she knows what she's gonna fully do in life.
Yeah.
Before, and I know you're gonna fucking joke the shit out of me on
No, I
this.
won't. I can't
Yeah,
joke you
will.
on this
Yeah,
kind
you
of
will.
part. I can't joke you on this part.
Ultimately, once Savannah is like to a point where I know she's kind of like set to where her life path is gonna go, I want to move out west and be a ski bum and be a ski patrol person and literally just live in a mountain town and be a ski patrol and ski for free every single day and not have a worry in the world.
Snow dog.
I mean, whatever you want to call
I
it.
can't knock you for a life
But I
goal,
think
dude.
that would be.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine if I was like 60-some years old and I'm just like skiing the mountains every day? Yeah, I'm getting paid if
you're
I could be
not
ski
67?
patrol. Wow, my beard might say otherwise.
Yeah, I'd say he'd stick around for Savannah's
No, I would not leave.
career,
I
but
would not leave until
what
I
is she
knew
gonna
she
cut
was-
on his head? You know, so he might as well move out west.
Oh shit! Never mind. Bitch, you keep your hat on. Too.
Yeah,
None of us have
right,
room to
exactly,
talk over here.
I know.
I mean, yeah, so that's
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been going every year now, so
Chris, what you looking forward to, man?
I guess since everyone's speaking on family, I can kind of give the opposite.
You can't not now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right now, I think 6 months ago, my mom had a cancer diagnosis. But I have, good news on that. Last Thursday was her last radiation treatment. Hopefully,
Dude, awesome.
oh yeah.
hopefully we get good news. But
Yeah.
I think stuff like that hits you like a brick wall, and then you realize you don't really.
That's a
spend
good
a
one,
lot
man.
of time with your
Way
family.
to one up us.
Yeah.
That's why he went last.
Yeah.
yeah, prayers, man. Good, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
Absolutely.
we're getting to
That's
the
really
end,
awesome. Yeah.
and this is another Jake tradition. One word sign off. One word. So, you can describe your one word, but it has to be a one word. And look, we've done this the second episode of this, and I think this was a better direction. Getting somebody from the outside doing this one. The one with Rob was fun, but I think this is going to create a lot of momentum. So I'm going with momentum. That's my one word just from today's experience. Momentum.
Great word. Great word. It's like when momentum starts rolling.
Should we do
you
like the
can't-
PB Herman,
Yeah.
word of the day?
It's just whatever one word. You don't have to describe it, explain it, nothing. You can just say one word. And I think this gave this style of format for what we're doing momentum, and that's why I decided to pick momentum. It could be anything that
Do
happens
you
in
have
your
one, or
life.
you
One
want
word.
me to go?
Go ahead.
I'm going friendship.
Friendship.
Because I have
Perfect.
two people that I've been friends with for a very long time and business partners, or
You don't even have to describe or explain
but
it.
that's just
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it.
My word would be bold.
Bold.
Yeah, take a chance. Go do something.
You're not gonna
You
lie.
know, don't just sit there.
None of us will be
Don't
sitting
wait
here.
for things to happen. You gotta go get it.
Sir,
I'm gonna use your favorite word, Ed. Lifestyle.
lifestyle. I like that one.
Yeah.
That is my go-to. You're right.
Yeah, just hearing you guys speak on your stories of how you
Make whatever you do in your life your lifestyle.
Yeah, I
That's the
can
only
feel
way you're
that
going to be
now.
successful. It's got to be your lifestyle.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we did. 3 minutes over.
Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
you coming.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
absolutely.
Anybody?
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Christopher, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Sign off.